Game number 1, ladies and gentlemen. We are in Division 7 of Heroes Launch, and obviously a skill level here. Gold to bronze is what we're usually getting. The Bacon Landlords against 500 MS, and on the left side it continues in good old Bacon Landlord fashion with Bacon Soccer on Abathur, the Joxy on Murky. Yes, you heard right, the fish is in the game, or the frog. Claire W and Anna today. We have Aramorg on Garrosh and Mikasor on Greymane. On the right side of the map, 500 MS with Drugvor on Zeratul, Amphithis on Lily, Bloody on Gul'dan, Danger Flame on Dehaka, and the Snazzy Penguin on Johanna. Now again, no feelings were hurt in the production of this video. Players are very well aware that they're probably going to get ripped into a little bit. This is obviously going to be the lower end of the spectrum here for the skill levels in in Heroes Launch in general, as we're looking at the Division 7 play. But it's a great training ground, first of all, to have a little bit of fun, and then also to talk about some of the things that can be done better by players that find themselves in a similar position in any kind of amateur league. In terms of talents, we're actually seeing the Eager Adventurer now taken from Lily. So Lily in particular is going to be an interesting hero to watch here. I haven't really seen a Lily in games in ages. So let's see how much she can actually pull off. The Joxy already gets a couple of style points from me. Riding the money pick here is always a big bonus, so definitely doing well with that. Talent choice on 1, a fishy deal. Seen this a few times just recently. And Murky Abathur can actually be an absolute pain in the ass. In case that you've never ever seen a Murky Abathur or played against one, it can be incredibly annoying. Especially Abathur makes Murky a lot more annoying, obviously. It's more damage that comes out. It's a huge threat that can come in. And they usually prove that too. So we're having still pretty normal talents on most of the heroes here, considering that Gul'dan also went into the Echo Corruption here. Up to the top lane, Murky's gonna do his thing against Danger Flame. And this is actually a real big problem. If you're on a solo lane and your opponent is running an Abathur, you find yourself in that problem where you can't really engage in a 1 versus 1, since Abathur is likely to just simply head the target on the other side, go for the symbiote, and then you're gonna lose that one for sure. The Joxy, on the other hand, he gets the help, but is already in trouble because there's 2 heroes committed to him. But this is exactly like the Murky game that you see so often. 2 heroes are now chasing Murky. I have no idea where that burrow came from. Danger Flame is looking at that and is like, I'm afraid of that. Misses the drag there too. But they're committing 2 heroes now to chase little Murky around the map, whereas at the bot lane we're seeing Lily already on the run, looking for adventure and finding only death. It's the sad story of a little panda all alone on Dragonshire. So yeah, Lily already down, the first victim in the game here, and the blue team, the Bacon Landlords, they are actually starting to gain a bit of an advantage topside. Murky's still running around Danger Flame with the lick again. Yeah, he's no Sugar Daddy 69. That's the only Dehaka player whose skills with the tongue I really trust, but Danger Flame, he's trying, of course, to aspire to that great big standard that is set by Sugar Daddy 69. Rest in pieces. But obviously, right now, he's not on that level just yet. But he's going to try. There's a quick flip against Jojo. Right, she still had the Iron Skin out, so that at least saves her for now. But up at the top lane, we're now seeing again 2 heroes committed to help out against Murky. And we all know how that's going to work. He murks, he dies, and he murks again. it's like the typical setup for Murky. Just running around the objective the entire time. Talking objective, there's a quick grenade. Claire's sitting in the middle and is just saying, I'm gonna put you to sleep 6 days to Sunday before you take that Dragonite. If you don't get help, I'm gonna make sure that you're not gonna get that Dragonite. So down to the bottom of the map and up to the top, we're seeing both of the shrines contested again. Murky went into the slime time. It's the exact build so far that we've actually seen recently on the Division 1 and 2 teams when they were going into the Murky setup. Lily on the pleb horse on the way top lane again. And Murky is just still on the run here. Especially later when he gets also his self-sustained talent, this is going to be even more annoying. Now Dehaka is already in slight trouble here too, and it just showcases again, as long as Abathur is part of the equation, you can't really deal with the Merc Lord there in that sense. Now the talents are starting to tickle in, and with that we're actually seeing now on level 7 also the good stuff. after we had the hindering winds already. But the bot lane is now taken over by the red team again, so 500 MS is currently trying to reclaim their full control over both of the shrines here in Dragonshire. And that also includes Lily moving up to the top again. Abathur is also, I mean, just saying, Abathur is taking a very, very passive stance here. I have no idea why Bacon Saga is all the way back there. Doesn't really make too much sense. I guess he's super afraid of Zeratul at this point. But obviously you would want him to sit a little bit closer towards the mid lane to at least get the value out of the body soaking that he has. Now there's several ways of how you can actually soak experience with Abathur. Danger Flame gets barely out there. The Symbiote soaks experience, so wherever you are with the Symbiote head, whatever dies in the vicinity, you're going to get the experience for that. If you have your body somewhere on the map, you're going to get experience for that too. And the third way, which doesn't really matter too much most of the time, whatever you kill with any of your abilities also grants you experience. Meaning if a beetle that you, if a locust that you send out gets blasted against the minion, you get experience for that minion that you killed. If other minions around that locust die, that doesn't count, but if the locust itself gets the kill, then you get the experience for it. And the same also about the toxic nests. So Abathur players usually, even against the Zeratul, want to be a little bit closer to the action so that they can also go for the side soak. We're going to see if the body soak is going to be activated later by Bacon Soccer. For now, actually, we're not seeing any of this. So we'll see. Up to the top, though. Still, we're having Murky with a little play here. So Murky's still on the dance around. Has gone into the time to krill here on level 7. We're still seeing nearly a full focus into the Carapace build. Quite the setup there, I would say. And Murky's just pissing everybody off at the top lane. Mission accomplished, as he could say. We haven't seen a single kill in this game. Only one. Level 10 is now in. And up to the top, the 2-for-1 trade. As Murky is finally taken out, but down to the bottom of the map, that's where a bit of the action happens now around Bloody. The throw of Snazzy Penguin still, but the Haunt, the Horrify, and that could be a dead Garrosh, and it is Garrosh down, and that's now 2 kills from 500 MS. And they could go for the Dragon Knight again, and actually they get there this time. We've seen Murky still with the attempt to get some value topside, but that didn't work out. He's sliming around here. He's getting really low, but they can't get the kill yet. The Dragon Knight, on the other hand, has moved down to the bottom of the map to push through this and take the first structure. And again, same story as usual. Don't just engage in this case, it doesn't really matter too much. We're already pushing in, but just to put that out there again, if you have a Dragon Knight, don't just run into towers, don't just run into a fort, any structures. If you have a minion wave nearby, wait those 2-3 seconds for the minion wave to come in, to soak the fort shots, to soak the keep shots, so that you are in a better position for this. With the heroic abilities now in play, we're also seeing, amongst other things, oh, haven't seen that in a while, adaptation on the side of the Haka. And we're also having the March of the Murlocs again. He's going to try and Murloc around here as much as he can. That said, mid lane pressure. Again, Garrosh with a throw and the taunt. This time they're going for Gul'dan. Lily with the ult immediately in the big punt against Greymane. Horrify is in again, and Aramork barely getting out. Might still fall, and Anna trying to keep him alive, as at least Dehaka has died at the top lane. Murky claiming his first victim. The deadly frog is doing things. So the Joxy is currently just zipping around here, starting to chase down Lily again, and screaming for the Murky symbiote head, I would assume. For the Abathur symbiote head, and there it is. Gets it already. Zeratul is now moving in too. And yep, Bloody is there. So it's a 1 versus 3. And they're chasing the frog. And they're finally getting the kill against the 2. I'm actually wondering right now, where exactly is the egg? I haven't really looked at the egg at all. Okay, so the egg is at the top. I was already wondering if it's somewhere in the mid base. It's the most hilarious thing when you have a Murky that forgets to actually place the egg down at the beginning of the fight. And then nothing happens. Did he just try to use the ult in that last battle? Nah, right? No. That can't have happened. So Murky, already moving around here, has the fishy deal. And Lily's getting attacked again. Lily at this point is just pissed. Get away from me! Get away! Leave me alone! 13 talents already. Murky goes in again and dies. Now, as much as it is fun to take a Murky down, keep in mind you are still granting your opponent a little bit of experience. You shouldn't YOLO it too hard. Up to the top lane now, we're having at least a deep push happening. No focus on the pufferfish there. So it's trying to take that down. Shrine's activating another 20, which means that the Bacon Landlords desperately need level 13 at this point. And that is also going to make Murky a lot more sustainable here. Talking about the talents, the Mending Strikes now taken with Surgic wins, actually seeing the Harvest live. And there it is, the Fish Tank. Okay. It's the Fish Tank here for the sustain. I mean, with Abathur and especially, of course, the Adrenal Overlord, he is going to become a real pain in the ass. The Soma Transference on level 13 is going to help with the sustain too. And just have a look at Dehaka. Dehaka has to all sleep pop his essence completely. Murky is still there, but the problem is this time he's not the only one. The rotation is this time in, and there's the taunt, and that is a kill. Lily was even thinking about an ult, I would assume, here. And they're starting to go for the next potential setup now too. Dragonite is on... is again up, and well, with Murky now getting more and more Abathur assistance, it is starting to become a bigger and bigger issue here as that game continues. Now when we're talking about Abathur again, you should be a little bit more active on the map than what we're currently seeing from Bacon Sugar here for the Bacon Landlords. Against Zeratul, you obviously have to kind of know where Zeratul is and pay attention to the minimap. But at this point, Abathur gets 0 value from his body soak. So even the locusts that he spawns are not going to get as much as they could. They could, for example, legitimately just like take down some giants, get Abathur out to the bot lane, get the soak here. As long as they know that Zeratul is top side, there's no problem with that. So if you're a little bit more active with the way that you play the hero, you can definitely get value there. The taunt, the slows, and that is a dead Lily. Is Abathur in? Yep, they're getting a little bit. Oh, that drag. Nice. The drag is in. Ana has fallen as Zeratul went deep for that kill. Murky isn't done. Actually sent the Murlocs out here too. Missed most of them. But they're still going in for the kill, and Murky gets the one against Khaldor. Murky falls too. The problem is that we're having now a 3 versus 1. And yep, Garrosh is just not gonna make it there. The blessed shield is being used too. They just realize there's too much on the line here. You have to commit to that as well. 16 is quicker for 500 MS as they have 5 kills against 4 now. Murky is still in place here against Danger Flame, and the dinosaur is just running. I just can imagine comms the entire time and everybody just yelling, "Help! I got a frog! I got a frog! I got a frog!" Oh god. Alright, so let's have a look at the damage output. Look at Murky. 36,000 damage actually for him. Abathur sitting at 32k. Greymane at 9,000. It's not really a recommendation when you have less damage than Lily Johanna. He's legitimately the player with the least damage in the game outside of Ana. Greymane is pretty much just a PvE bot at this point for his team. Oh, poor Mikasa. I mean, let's look at the bright side. Let's actually go Blizzard here and look at the bright side. He hasn't died yet. So yeah, upside, silver linings, silver linings. Yeah, ult being used, by the way, by Dehaka to dodge Murky, who's sitting at 48,000 damage now, and he's close to getting the Murlocs. Up down to the bottom of the map, the Horrify is being used here as they're moving straight into the fight again. Greymane is down. Well, so much for he hasn't died yet. He's not the only one, though. They're losing 2 more with it, too. Ana and Garrosh are both eliminated. Now Murky, we have to wait for our green savior with a toxic build-up here. Okay, so getting even more slime in, and we're having the adrenaline boost for the frog as well, so he can rush away even quicker. Lily is just unimpressed by everything that's going on here and is saying, no, we go for the objective right now. I can tell you who's going for Johanna, and Johanna is just rushing away and is saying, really? Really? Someone get this shit off me. That's the channel, and Murky just doesn't give a fuck. He just goes in and says, I'm gonna get the kill against Johanna. Who cares about the Dragon Knight? Screw that. I wanna get kills. And he goes straight in from the next. Does have Abathur here, and they nearly kill Bloody too. Seriously, if they would have gotten into the bubble talent on 16 or 13 or where it is, they could have honestly gotten that as well. Oh my god. The keep at the bot lane is currently falling. Murky doesn't care. He's looking for the next target. These boys, I got this. Yeah, he's found a Dehaka. And actually falls. Dehaka this time with the insta-drag. That eliminates even the most powerful frog in the universe. Oh, okay. So we have 62,000 damage now on Murky. Then again, he has died 10 times, so 2.5 accumulated deaths here for him. But he has found Gul'dan. I can see the Horrify already. No, he gets the kill. Alright. Bloody is saying, I gotta know this shit. Like, I'm not running away from the frog anymore. I'm just facing it. I'm just absolutely facing it here. Gul'dan with the main damage on 37. Oh god, Zach. Oh, I think Murky is drunk. Nice cooldown there. Burns the cooldown. Just 5 heroes chasing Murky down. The perfect march of the Murlocs for the 0 value. And then you have 5 heroes just chasing him. Oh, they have level 20 at this point. So that's at least something. Murky is like round 2. Goes in again. And says like, okay, 1v5. Let's go. I didn't know that Alex had a Smurf account. He's like, hello. Abathur, egg, Abathur. Alright. Back to business. Murky is on the warpath. The rest of the team is also doing things on the map. I'm not quite sure what, because Murky is 1v5ing the entire time. But I think Greymane has decided that he wants to be valuable too. He has 11,000 damage. If he doesn't pay attention, by the way, Anna is all going to overtake Greymane as well. But Greymane is saying, like, boys, I do something at the bot lane. I have 30,000 siege damage. I'm a specialist main, in case you didn't know. But the rotation is coming in, and Murky has found another victim. Murky is on the dinosaur, who had to pop the ult already, and there's the stutter step. Look at the stutter step damage. He actually goes for it. There's the drag, didn't dodge that yet, and is about to move away. So my transference is helping out too. They don't have 20 yet, and the frog is on it. The frog goes in, and the frog gets the kill. 1v3, I mean, to be honest, they actually at least have Abathur there. The blessed shit. They're killing everything. He just got 2 kills. And he nearly got a 3rd one. Can you imagine how this looks now at 20? Murky when making Inky. Why the big tuna kahuna? Dude, you go for the big tuna kahuna and you are murdering them. Why do you go for the slime cooldown? I honestly think that we have the big badass Murky there with the Abathur head. That's even better. And he just goes in again. There we go. Murky comes in and gets horrified. Oh, Bloody is sitting there just like, get that shit off me, get it out, I need to get away. They're dropping all of their cooldowns to Murky the entire time. And the Merc Master has found Zeratul. There's the VP. The Dragon Knight is in as well. Oh, well, the bot lane, that's actually where catapults are starting to build up now. But yeah, Murky, a frog on a mission. A frog on a mission. Value town, 96,000 damage at this point. 18 minutes in, Gul'dan completes his quest on level 1. Also, Greymane is doing a little bit of damage. Why are you being back? Because of one catapult. Alright, fair enough. That's literally one catapult. They already take the waves down with this, and Greymane moves back instead of Abathur just moving. Abathur has been here the entire game. He hasn't moved once. Murky needs glasses, seriously. Look at this. He could have used it here to at least get the fort, but instead Murky just sits there and says like, I like Murlocs. So it just drops them wherever. Another massive cooldown burned by him. But I mean, he went over 100,000 damage, so that's at least something. Oh boy, they're going through the middle. 7 kills against 9. And yep, there we have that. This is also a moment when Abathur could legitimately be at the top side and then just simply move away after Zeratul leaves. Murky with a 1v9 attempt again, starting to move in. A little bit more aggression would be appreciated there. There's the Horrify and the Nano Boost on Murky. Come on, buddy. Come on. You can do it. He goes down too quickly. Murky is down. Retreat. Retreat. Our Lord and Savior has fallen. Retreat, ladies and gentlemen. Mikasa gets saved for now. Zeratul is moving in. Ooh, the kill against Anna. Look at them. Murky is back. And he's dead. Yeah, shouldn't run into that drag. That's a little bit too much. But don't fear, Murky is back. Alright, so Murky is coming in again. Murky on the run. Murky on the move. Murky with a value. Seriously, the second he hits actually a good ult, the game's gonna end. And there he is dead again. Murky is starting to get a little bit too aggressive around that Dehaka, who's just committing to that drag and connects it. And that's a double kill, isn't it? Ooh, the taunt. Greymane is saved. And Garrosh is dead. Murky's like, okay, let's try this again. Like slime and here. And dance around. A little bit of damage. Make sure that they don't go for the bot lane and don't end the game here. Alright, Murky's in again. The drag connects, and that's the end of him. Every single time that drag connects, he's dead. It's pretty much the one thing that he has to dodge. But the red team has figured it out. And now at the bottom of the map, we have actually 3 catapults. Greymane is trying to take at least those down. If he can drop the catapults, that would be great. But they're already losing the shields. There's the ult. Now they're going to get a little bit of value, but they have to take the catapult still down. And they do that. 75% on the core. But look at the ult getting value. Murlocs everywhere. Lili with her own ult trying to counteract it. Murky's dead again. So is Greymane. And we have, with 114,000 damage, everybody falling on the side of the blue team. The core is down to 70%. Here comes Murky once more as he's trying to turn the tides of the battle, but the game is over. And 500 MS, they win game number 1 against the Bacon Landlords in Division 7. Game number 2, everybody. The Bacon Landlords are actually not in the lead. I'm not 100% certain how that happened. They're actually 1 down. That Murky game has just confused me a little bit too much. Instead, it's 500 MS, of course, that have taken game number 1. So that's already corrected. But we have now on the left side, Buster on Garrosh, Aramorg on Reyna, Claire W on Malfurion, the Joxy on Hanzo, and Mikasa on Orphea in our second game. On the right side, Dragvo on Sul'jin, Amphitis on Rhaegar, Bloody on Gul'dan, again Danger Flame, this time on Tyrael, and the Snazzy Penguin is playing Johanna. Sky Foundry is map number 2. Let's see if this is gonna go the distance. We have a little bit of, we have actually a bit of a meta 5-man here on the side of the Bacon Landlords. This time it's actually the red team that goes a bit wild with the Sul'jin pick here. Having on level 1 the Headhunter claimed. Ace in the hole still for Jimmy on the left side, and I actually like that quite a lot. We even have Ancestral Strength here from Orphea, I like that. So, yeah. Jimmy finds himself on the bot lane, then again. It's a bit of a weird setup that they're running right now, but we are getting there. Alright, so again, when you're playing this map, I actually hope that we're going to see that from the 2 teams, because I know that from both of those teams, we have players watching my stream, and I've been talking about Volskaya Foundry what feels like for like months. It's all about getting the items now at the 1 minute mark. So you want to make sure that you're getting the turret as soon as you can, and then you can maybe make the play for the healing beacon. And actually we're seeing exactly that, so I'm already proud that this is happening. It's definitely a misstep on the side of the red team that they're not taking their own turret over here. So the big important thing is if you take the turret early on, it means that during the first objective, that turret camp is respawning. So if you have a little bit of time, if your opponent backs off, or if you have to back off, you can take it again. You have an additional item over your opponent. And that's the big play there. So try and get an item advantage whenever you can. There's a 4-man rotation currently happening between the mid and the top lane. Pretty much what you see on a lot of other maps, especially of course when we're looking towards Tomb of the Spider Queen. But it is a bit of an issue that that camp hasn't been taken yet. And it could even lead to the Bacon Landlords at some point starting to claim their opponent's camp. But they're actually starting to maybe make the play for this one. I'm pretty sure that was supposed to hit the mech there. Either way, Jimmy goes down, a little bit too eager at the bot lane to stay out, so that rotation hits him hard. But with Jimmy falling, we're still seeing the healing bacon taken at the top. Now they need to get someone down there to at least soak some of the experience. But at this point, yeah, they're losing quite a bit of XP down there. They still have the item advantage. It's a big deal. It's actually a big deal here if you use it properly. We need to be a bit careful with Sul'jin, of course, going to try and get those stacks in as well. But now that we're having this turret taken a little bit late for the objective, you will definitely see that little interplay during the first objective where the blue team, the Bacon Landlords, can reclaim another turret if they really want to. Now when it comes to the talents, we have the Wolf Run for Rhaegar, and he goes on level 4, not in the Healing Totem, but instead into the Spirit Walker's Grace. The Healing Totem is actually really powerful in this map. You can drop it in the back and still have a hero sitting over here doing his thing. So the blue team is already looking for a spot. Reyna's moving in too. They're slightly behind in experience because of that wave that they lost earlier. But the cooldown plays that we're seeing from Bloody are starting to pay off a bit more now on this map because he gets the stacks together more quickly. Sul'jin gets the damage. Very, very early healing beacon already used, and the teams are just both spamming the items here. But we're still seeing Bacon Soccer on his Buster account currently staying alive thanks to the sustain that they have with this now. And they are currently holding that point, at least for the time being, and force the red team to tap at the fountain again. Jimmy is already sitting there in the middle. He needs to be a little bit careful. Gets the penetrating round through. We're starting to get the progress here. And keep in mind, these guys can still move back. They still have the fountain up and can tap there, and kind of need to do that right now. Indomitable being used, and they're already retreating here. Mikasa also being a little bit more careful about this as all of them are starting to drop, but they already have 43%. Can move back in, get the quick tap, re-engage into the battle, and maybe also take their additional turret, which is soon going to spawn here. A bit of a misalignment here on the skills. Triple root on the other hand from Malfurion. And by now we're having the turret camp back in action, so they could fall back and try and claim it. But Hansa has pushed out the top lane. That's a lot of experience lost for the red team. And of course it brings them a little bit closer to level 7 themselves. They're starting to make their play here again. And Sul'jin is, by the way, also getting some decent stacks in. I mean, he's sitting at 10 stacks right now. Danger Flame in trouble, and that's the end of Tyrael. He tries to get the explosion value and nearly kills Mikasa on his Orphea. Pasta walks away with 30 HP. And Claire W is also just barely surviving this. But they're surviving it, and that's one of the most important things here. Now, of course, we have 95% against 43. An attempt by Hanzo to get even more damage out. I get some in against Snazzy Penguin, but is not able to simply secure the kill here. 12 stacks now on the baseline for Sul'jin. Still has started to get some stacks also on the Arcanite axis. I mean, this isn't an ARAM, but if he gets stacks going, then it would actually be pretty sick. So yeah, as we're heading into this, I mean, now we have also 9 stacks on Aramork's Reyna. 83%, and now the blue team, or the red team, is starting to re-engage here in Division 7. They're starting to make their way back into the point. Snazzy Penguin is already incredibly low. A couple of stacks coming in from Sul'jin as he's spinning the axis again with the Arcanite ones. And the kill against him regardless. Sul'jin down, and they're trying to get more, but they're at least... Yes, they get Johanna. They get Johanna, and they get the Protector itself, despite the fact that Mikasa just ate a massive amount of damage through that little setup here. So what you want to do with the Protector is obviously prepare the top lane, and they are well aware of that. They use a couple of abilities in the middle and move up to the top and are saying, okay, let's drop that fountain, make sure that our opponent has a tougher stance when we are going into objective number 2. And we're still having someone smoking the experience at the bottom of the map. Even waiting for their own minion wave here. So they're playing this slow, they're saying, guys, we got time here, don't need to rush anything. There's of course a massive defense already happening. Good damage against Rhaegar, massive damage against Rhaegar, and Rhaegar is dead. The puppy has been murdered. Abathur still rotating between the lanes, getting the extra experience. Now they're breaking the fort down, and they're already taken the fountain itself. That is looking pretty solid. Nice value on the first one. Good time. Gets lasered into the ground here. And we have Abathur still rotating. I mean, Mikasa is actually getting quite a bit of value out of these rotations at this point. It's an interesting lineup anyways. I mean, they're playing a triple damage backline. Mikasa is usually the offlaner for them. But they're currently... Hanzo arrow, by the way, misses. But they're currently playing with triple damage. And that gives them a lot of damage, but little sustain. And it's honestly far out of meta. It's really not something that we're seeing these days a lot, because it has proven to be inferior to double frontline setups, especially when you're looking for another melee hero on that offlane. Because a lot of the heroes that they currently have just don't really fit the bill when it comes to what you expect from an offlaner. But in this case, it is currently working out for them. Again, this is Division 7, so the level of play that we're seeing here is usually around Bronze to Gold, what we have. So it's the lowest division in Heroes Launch in the amateur scene. 17 stacks now for the Arcanite Axis. We have 14 on the baseline for Sul'jin. Stacking process for Malfurion, by the way, isn't looking too bad either. 7.5 minutes in, and Malfurion is sitting on 13 stacks here for Broccoli. Taking a closer look at the damage. Having at this point, yeah, actually 26,000 for Hanzo, 16k on Gul'dan. And he's of course going to try and even push this a little bit further with the potential completion of his level 1 talent during the next objective phase. When you're sitting at 28 stacks right now, that's definitely something that they could try and aim for. The stacking process on the side of Sul'jin, that's a bit of a different story. We're actually don't seeing him with Guillotine, but he's going full Tastingo here, so they can definitely get some trade out of him dropping low and trying to get that in. Heals are going to be very important, especially of course around the Ancestral Healing. We'll have the Sanctification on the ground too. But still, the objective soon spawning. The top lane is going to be the important one, and they already put a lot of pressure with the level 10 advantage onto that fort in the first place, and Jimmy is starting to push that out even more. The item control, on the other hand, I mean, we still have that healing beacon, and we're also having one turret in the hands of the Bacon Landlords. Reyna needs to be a bit careful that it doesn't go too deep. That didn't go too well the last time he tried it at the bottom of the map. And this, on the other hand, might even be an attempt. Horrify gets traded for Hyperion, both of the ults only with limited value. But the objective hasn't even been announced yet. If you use that a little bit earlier, they might be able to get that fort down. They could still push it here. They're having the camp attacked by it too, and nobody cares about the fort for some reason, and all of a sudden that thing gets dropped. But hey, they got the camp. And we all know in Division 7, that's what really matters. You get the camp. They might get a kill too. The arrow comes out from Hanzo. Not quite full distance, but still stopping them for long enough to keep Buster alive. Because Garrosh wasn't more than just a little bit of trouble. Still Abathur at the bottom here, needs to be careful too. Mikasa already moving away. Can't chase him down too quickly. Zip zip, Shadow Waltzes his way back to and drops the spray. And if you don't have any mechanics whatsoever, it doesn't matter. As long as you hit that spray button, you're fine. You're absolutely fine. 13 with the Revitalize. Both of the teams now starting to go for the objective, but only one has the extra talent. And with that extra talent, we're actually seeing that position heavily secured. Bacon Landlords are in a great spot because the blue team or the red team has actually missed out on the experience on the lanes, and they're still forcing it. They're absolutely willing to go into the battle. I'm not quite sure that's really the play. Here comes already the chop away as Abathur goes for the ult. The Sanctification cancels out both of the value, but Sul'jin is dead, and they're not stopping there. No. They're going for more than this. Already we're having Snazzy Penguin getting dropped. Late blessed shield from him, by the way, in that fight, and they're dropping Bloody too. It's a full 5-man team wipe as they are obliterating the entire lineup here. A couple of the ults were well timed, but especially Johanna using her ult to get away instead of using it during the fight itself, that was a problem. And the Bacon Landlords, now that they're playing more of a... I mean, I don't really want to call this a meta team composition because it isn't. It's still a triple damage backline, and that's always a little like, eh. But they are doing pretty well with a more standard hero setup here. 10 kills against 1 so far in the game. But I feel part of it is also that this time 500 MS is falling apart a little bit here. The stacking process on their heroes is still decent, but they're not really in a position where they can get the damage from Suljin or Gul'dan that they really need to force this back. I mean, you look at the damage output, and both of them sit at 23,000. Now look on the other side what we're having from Hanzo, Offgear, and even Reyna, and it's just on a completely different level. The stacks keep coming in, and finally Gul'dan is completing his level as level 1. But look at the experience. That's a 2-level, 2-talent advantage for a few seconds that we're seeing for the Bacon Landlords. Now finally 13 is ready, but so is the 16 for the blue team. And they're going for the kills again. And the puppy is down, and so is the righteous angel. A little bit too arrogant there from Teriel. For now we have also the lacerate taken. The spins are coming in, but Suljin, ooh, gets dropped. Yeah, he gets the ult too, but eventually he's gonna fall. And they're even trying to make it for another kill. But Bacon Saga has problems getting the combo off properly against those heroes. With 13 kills against 1, it doesn't seem to matter too much though. But then again, this is Division 7. We have seen crazy comebacks. We could see that again. But now they're at least getting that done. And they have prepped this map pretty well. I gotta give them credit at least for that. They're doing really well when it comes to the rotations and knowing how to play the map. Get Protector 1, prepare the top lane. Get the second, prepare the bot lane. The timings around the objective, get the item control, keep the item control. So they've done well around that for sure. And they are eager to force the third game out of this. And after we've seen the Murky setup in game number 1, I want to see that third game too. So, so far, they're at least on point when it comes to that goal. With the level 16 talents, we're now also having the piercing arrows here. In general, we've seen a very heavy focus on the Storm Bolt from Hanzo, and also Pain Them Rat now on the side of Jimmy. That's going to help him for sure. Again, the play for Garrosh here. Should be able to walk away with the Indomitable, if need be. But actually, at this case, I don't even need to make that play. Massive talent advantage still. I mean, it's actually crazy how far ahead in experience the blue team is. Bacon Landlords are just looking absolutely crazy here. 13 against 1. Starting to poke around that, but obviously we're waiting for the next objective to be announced. This thing is just at this point, it looks very unlikely that the red team is even going to have level 16 for that. Probably during the duration they will get it at some point, but at least at the start it shouldn't really happen. Now here comes the Indomitable actually for the engage, and yep, he shows that minion who's boss. The immediate follow-up there takes the minion down, and that minion won't mouth off anymore. No. Nice kill though. Nicely done. But the Horrify and Value Town. Keep in mind that the underdog bonus gives you a huge experience boost when you're taking down heroes in this case. The puppy on the other hand, I'm not quite sure what he's thinking, but he actually waited there for an eternity and just gets completely demolished. Oh my god, back into the kennel boy. I mean, honestly, after we already saw the kill in the mid lane against Johanna, I'm not quite sure what the thought process there was. To sit this far out on lane when everybody in vision moved towards the top. Yeah, that didn't really work. But yeah, thanks to the kill and the underdog bonus that they got, 16 is actually going to drop for them. But you look towards the Bacon Landlords and they are actively working on level 20 now. 16 talents, full focus here on the Arcanite Axis with the Twin Cleave. Wrong place one time, now used two. Within are 5 stacks away on the baseline, by the way, for Suljin to get the double cleave out. In terms of damage, he's sitting at 31,000. Can't really keep up with a lot of heroes on the other side, but they're still trying. The item lead is still there. I mean, you have the healing beacon. We're currently looking at 1 turret, 2 turrets, 2 healing beacons and 2 turrets. So massive item advantage for the Bacon Landlords, who also have now 15 kills against 2. It's definitely a map that they know how to play here. Top lane gets pushed out too. And they're looking for the experience. They're just saying... decisions like this in Division 7 always make me happy because it really shows that some teams, first of all, they watch streams, they get the knowledge of at least that. They might not always have the synergy in the team fight. They might not always have the mechanics. but at least know that it's advantageous for them to just give up a bit of progress in exchange for the level 20 talent. And that's quite something. So now with that said, we're having them on level 20 in just a few seconds. They're already starting to move in, so I really feel they should wait that out for just another second before they make the engage happen. And yep, there we have it. And now with the Storm Talons, they can make the move. And they're already starting to move in for this. Buster's already on the point, goes in to drop the taunt, gets a big one out, but the problem is the arrow doesn't hit anything. It doesn't matter though. Yep, he dies, Garrosh is down, but Wilma Fury now going straight for the ult. They're still getting the kill against Johanna. So it's a 2-for-1 trade, make it a triple. Might not have been the cleanest engage, but it did work out. We're still seeing, actually, Hanzo, nah, he still falls. The damage over time was a bit too much for him to handle. But it's still 2 heroes against 3, so you win the fight and you win the objective, therefore. 27 for Suljin. He never even had a chance to go for his Tazdingo here. But we're having them now just in a sitting position here, dropping the items, triple turret already on the line. Again, not the cleanest engagement by any means. A little bit of a suicide move on the side of Garrosh here, moving that deep, and then the Hanzo arrow not even hitting and just going straight through the middle. But as it stands, they're still in a position where they're gonna get that protector. And yeah, the red team is obviously just trying to hold on for dear life right now. So with that said, we're having 69,000 damage on Hanzo alone, 35k for Gul'dan, 33 on Suljin, who's still struggling to get enough damage in here. Feels like Rhaegar wants to solo the camp up here. I would advise against that. But yeah, he's sitting around, so the puppy's trying to get some experience for them too. I mean, in a perfect world, you would of course like to have level 20 for the defense at least, if you're playing on 500 MS. But it doesn't really look like that's going to happen anytime soon. We have the Protector moving into the middle. I'm not sure why that is. I mean, okay, they got a turret already dropped here. Okay, they're moving in for that. Starting to get some damage in. And get dropped really low before the minions are even there. Expected them to move to the bottom. Either way, they have a catapult already assisting them a little bit. So they're going to be trying and take the first keep down. I mean, at this point, you're usually thinking core. Especially, of course, with a level 20. Oh, wow. And Suljin is nearly dead. Yeah, those... Oh, the dog is going deep, and the dog is dead again. Yeah, that lunge, that's one of the problems that a lot of Rhaegar players have. They're just a bit too aggressive and want to go for the big bite. But that fired very quickly back against them. 70 stacks, by the way, on Suljin, who now committed also to the ult to get away. Gul'dan also barely got out. Johanna, on the other hand, she didn't. Yeah, stacks are completed on Suljin's one. The lockdown and the kill against Tyrael. And yeah, that should definitely be game here now. They're forcing the third game. The core is already dropping slowly but steadily. Gul'dan and Suljin are both dead. That's a full wipe. And we are definitely looking at game number 3 right now. The Bacon Landlords, they're tying the series and force the final map in the best of 3 series in Division 7 here. GG. Well played. Game number 3, Sky Temple, the final map in the Landlords. They've done it again. Abathur, played by Bacon Soccer. He's swapping accounts left and right today. We have Aramork on ETC, Claire W on Ana, Mikasor on Ophia, and we have the Joxy again on Murky. I've seen this combo before, at least parts of it. On the right side, 500 MS is already sitting there and thinking, why me? Bloody on Thrall, Drug War on Mary, and we have the Lily in play again with Amphithis, Snazzy Penguin on Sylvanas, not on the front line this time, and Danger Flame on Sonya. Okay, definitely a little bit of a switch here when it comes to not only roles, but also the way that they are playing this. But I'm interested in the Frog again, because now we're going to see if this time they can be successful. I mean, Murky did absolute murder game number 1 with Abathur. But they still lost. They still lost the game. So now this is the second attempt for the Joxy to get things done here. Goes into the same build, at least for now. The fishy deal on level 1. We're having also the ancestral strength. No adjustments from Abathur there yet either, so we might see the same here. And we're still seeing Abathur pretty far out. But he actually this time moved a little bit farther out on the map. So we're not seeing him at the keep, but this time he's between keep and fort. So Abathur emboldened a little bit by the lack of Zeratul here on Sky Temple. So maybe we will see him body soak at some point. I would certainly welcome that. Sylvanas starting to push the bot lane, and there had to be a reaction, which we're currently seeing right now. And the Abathur Murky setup is already haunting the top lane. So that's exactly where he's gonna clash with Sonya for the time being. Now with that said, we're still having, in terms of talents, a couple of adjustments. I mean, you don't even see good old Sonya too often these days, but the Furious Blow is now taken here. We also have no stacking process, no unfurling shadows for the Snazzy Penguin, and actually also no hit points on the Snazzy Penguin either. The Might of the Banshee Queen has been chosen, but the Mighty Banshee Queen has also just been eliminated. So that was a quick kill right there. Now Thrall is in the meantime trying to get his stacks together. And again, if you're playing against the Thrall player on the lane, what you're trying to do is you stand on those minions that are low, so that your opponent is having a tougher time getting those point and click damage points in and getting the stacks together. You know, having Dajoxi get the vision for his team up at the top lane. And we're actually seeing Siege Giant commitments. So with that said, we're having, for now, just Snazzy and his boys going for the Siege Giants, trying to make sure that they get a bit of value. The blue team is currently neglecting this, something that they should definitely do. We're having for Abathur, again, the Adrenal Overlord worked well for them in the first game when they played that particular setup. And they're having also Slime Time ready once more. So as long as the Joxy is getting that slime in, they're going to be happy. Yeah, and it's already slime against Drugmore up at the top, and if you are Varian, you're hating your life right now. First of all, you don't really have the wave clear to deal with all of this shit in the first place, so that's already a nuisance as is. And then you have the Abathur offsetting the balance on the solo lane continuously, which doesn't really make your life any easier. Down at the bottom of the map, though, we're having another hero in trouble, and that is Orphea. Mikasa is needing some help, gets the help too. They're making the play for Sylvanas again, but this time the Penguin is actually getting away from it. Taunt has been chosen as the level 1 talent, so we currently have that in. Taunt is the play. Lily is still trying to be adventurous here. Outside of that, we have the Shattered Ground now as well. Full smash build so far for Sonya. We need a Hulk skill, Hulk skin for Sonya, seriously. Sonya is pretty much female Hulk if she commits to the slam, so depending on the talents that you take, your skin should change slightly. And if you commit full smash and Sonya just turns green, that would be fantastic here. Abathur still helping out. This is a perfect example, by the way, where Abathur is misplaying right now. So if you're playing Abathur with your team, Abathur at this point is not supposed to be top lane. Abathur is literally supposed to sit right here, or here. Sit in the bush and soak with your body. You know that there's 4 heroes in the middle, you've seen them. You have also another one up top, so as long as you are aware where those 5 heroes are, there is zero reason for you to be in that position. Murky gets away for now, but this is actually starting to turn against the Bacon Landlords a little bit. A lot of these shots are currently being soaked by 500 MS, despite the fact that we are still having a slight experience lead for them. But Abathur could have really taken care of the bot lane and propelled that experience lead even farther forward. So just sit in the bush, get the experience, and then you move away once that your opponent is just starting to move away from the temples themselves. The kill against Murky is also another additional hit into the stomach of the Landlords right now. They're falling behind from a structural perspective on the map. But let's see how exactly this is going to turn out long term. Right now we're having, first of all, Ancestral Wrath here. We're seeing Echo of Elements still not completed, so Thrall has to work around that a bit. He's already kind of late on this. Then again, when we're looking towards the talents, we have also in terms of stacks 5 only currently for Murky on his level 4. The time to Krill. So at this point see the extra slow. That can be really annoying, by the way. This is one of the reasons why, as the map opened up on Dragonshire, Murky became such a big nuisance, because nobody could really get away from him, especially with the Adrenal Overlord here. So that is an issue, and Murky and Abathur are still rocking that top lane, especially since the red team for some reason doesn't really care about the defense and is more interested in taking their camp before that. So Murky might still fall there. Lily with a chase, and Murky is down. And it's more so the mid and late game that we're really worried about when we're talking about this. Thrall completing his quest. It's already an important one. Gets the second stack together for himself. That was important. And in the meantime, we're seeing at the bottom of the map, yep, Sonya starting to make the move to push this through too. And so far, nobody is actually rotating towards that. And at the top lane, this is a massive commitment there. Ophia is making her way in. ETC on the way down to the bottom, soak the experience. A little bit of a chomp action happening. And the Shadow Walls too, as they're trying to go maybe even for a kill here. But yeah, Mikasa can't really go out too far. So structural perspective still starting to actually even up a little bit as the Bacon Landlords get the Murky value topside. But now with the single temple down to the bottom of the map, that's normally where the level 10 abilities happen. And this is another great example of when Murky should get when Abathur should get a bit of value. Because the objective forces the teams usually to move down to the bottom of the map and fight over this area. Abathur can instead just simply sit here in the bushes and get the extra experience and even push this in a little bit further. So that's what you're trying to do here. Kill against Sophia in the mid lane in the meantime. Murky now immediately realizing that this is going well for them at the bottom and starts to rotate topside to at least get the fort here. Level 10 abilities are ready on both. And we have leap on Sonya. Sonya is gonna go for the leap. And waiting arrow. No commitment from Thrall yet. But up topside, Varian will have to deal with Murky more, and Murky takes the fort down. That's actually the third fort in the game. Sylvanas falling against the Dwarfs. Taken apart by the minions. Alright, I'm not quite sure how exactly that happened. It sounds like a greedy Sylvanas to me. They got punished. But they still take the fort in the bottom lane. They take the fort at the top lane now too. So that eliminates now 2 forts. We're still seeing at the same time the March of the Murlocs already committed to as they're crawling up the wall right here. And Dragvor, he doesn't have the wave clear to deal with this, especially as long as Murky has the assistance of Abathur with the symbiote. He just doesn't have the setup there. Murky gets burned down for now. That's again 2 heroes committing to it. But as long as Abathur is just sitting pretty much in base all game long, that's more or less 2 heroes against 2. I mean, again, the symbiote is one of the tools that you have, but normally the whole idea is to get more value out of Abathur because your body's soaking on one side of the map and you're assisting with the symbiote on the other. And as long as Abathur is sitting that far back, it's pretty much just 2 heroes against 2 heroes, so you can always have 2 heroes on Murky. If you're on the other hand getting value somewhere else by simply pushing with your locusts or also body soaking, then it's a bit of a different story. So that's something that Abathur is currently missing a bit. And also, because we have Abathur so far back, it's really difficult for him to get toxic nest value too. So if he's sitting, for example, in the mid lane or in one of the bushes or somewhere else, you're going to get more value out of the toxic nests too. So that's one more thing where Abathur could definitely improve the play a little bit, since toxic nests can be either used to push the lanes out, or you can use it to just simply have it between rotations so that your opponent's rotations are A, visible, and B, also slowed down a bit since they are getting dismounted. But as it stands, we're still seeing the Joxy sitting over here, trying to make the play. Massive value from Ophia. The mosh pit was fantastic, and the damage is in as they go for the double and for the triple kill. They're trying to make it a quad, and they get Thrall too. An absolute disaster for 500 MS down at the bottom of the map right now. Ooh, boy, yeah. Abathur now also with the Soma transference. We've seen how much of a problem that can be. The fish tank too. So, yep, they have more and more sustain for Murky himself. And if you take a look at the minimap, one of the problems that occurred on Dragonshire for 500 MS with the Murky value was that Murky, as the map opened up, got more value. And this is kind of where we are right now. A little bit of fish tank value here too. And the map is opening up. And that's a boss commitment here, as Murky is topside. There's at least a temple taken. The red team completely oblivious to what's going on here. But the boss is taken, and up at the top, Bloody is trying to get the value against Murky now with one chain lightning after another. The problem is he's not going to get that anytime soon. The boss is already moving through the map. Nobody seems to care. Instead, it's the objective that everybody goes for. There's the quick taunt that we have, but also the arrow for the silence, and that's going to be the first few kills. ETC down, so does Anna die, and Mikasa is going to fall as well. The problem that we still have is that the top lane, that's a very different story, because that's literally now a 1 versus 2, and that keep is likely to fall. The boss is still doing a lot of work at the bottom of the map as it starts to move through the fort itself. So this one is going to fall here for sure. It's down already, and up at the top, Murky dies, and we still might see one more hit. Nobody takes care of the catapult. It actually falls. Oh, the keep down, the constant catapult action now coming through the top lane. And Murky can start to shift focus a little bit if he wants to. Yeah, up to the top. We're having Murky getting a couple of shots together. They still have a fort in the mid lane that they have to go through. So that's where the shots are currently aiming at. Murky doesn't really quite get the same damage out that he got in the first game. But we're still seeing Murky at 12,000 damage. And the Merc Master, yep, gets taunted. And yeah, they're just assassinating Murky whenever they can. Every single time. But now it's a bit of an issue here for the Bacon Landlords for sure. And again, it's another situation. Oh, Thrall with Khaldor here already. Another situation where Abathur should sit right here. You can be in vision. You can even be in vision. That doesn't even matter as long as you know exactly where your opponent is and they don't have a globe. Okay, 16. That's what both of the teams are fighting for right now. Alright, we're starting to get in for this one. Up to the top, the mosh pit against 2. And the chop value, ETC is down, but they get the counter kills here, aren't they? No, Ophir dies, and Lily is keeping them in play for much longer than expected. They might still get the kill against Sonya, though. Sonya with a leap against Murky, and they actually take all of them down. Wow. Yeah, this time no March of the Murlocs, no March, no value. 16 on both sides, and that backfired against the Bacon Landlords quickly. Abathur gets already pinged, and he's realizing that he's in trouble. Burrows away here, but with Sylvanas now starting to push the top lane, they're trying to at least take that keep. I mean, they suffered the loss of the keep at the top lane already earlier, and now they're trying to at least equalize the position. There's the March of the Murlocs on the other hand, though. Yep, and that forces them back quickly, and Lily is in trouble. Lily's in quite some trouble, but we're at least having Thrall helping out with another quick wolf. Snazzy Penguin now also on the move, and Murky is just trying to rush that in. The 16 gives us, of course, the speed bubble for Abathur, and that really helps Murky to chase them 6 days to Sunday here. Hasn't completed his level 4 yet either, by the way. That's currently the saving grace when we're talking for 500 MS, because Murky is just looking to hunt them whenever he can. It's already trying to 1v3 again. There comes the quick engage. No taunt yet. Murky on the run. And there's the taunt. The taunt stayed in the pufferfish show, by the way. Yep, and that gives value. 4 heroes chasing Murky. And they are getting the kill here even. Alright, so Murky is dead. 7 kills against 9. In the meantime, the rest of the team could deal with the bottom of the map and take that out. And we're starting to enter the later stages of the game. Once that Murky actually completes his quest on level 4, I mean, the slime in general is going to be much more problematic. So first of all is the bonus damage, but the slows is really what make the big difference here. But they're focusing on Murky way harder, and I like that the 500 MS in this game compared to the first one is actually starting to be a lot more aggressive around the camps that's trying to take them out quickly. Okay, camps at the bottom. ETC with the mosh pit, baby. Getting interrupted by Sylvanas, but the value from Mikasa or Fear with the mad damage right there. The double kill, the triple kill. And now the slows against Varian. And Varian is going to fall. He's delaying it slightly, but he's down. And we're going to also see the kill against Snazzy Penguin. Yes, no, maybe. 60 HP. And he gets away. Alright, Snazzy Penguin with Sylvanas barely able to move out. Murky already back to the top lane, starting to get the next few hits from the top side temple. And they're entire level ahead now. 18 against 17. Massively ahead in the game. Still the value through the push at the bot lane too. Then on top of it as well. So all of a sudden, we're having the push straight into the mid lane with all of the structures. I mean, one keep has already fallen. They are making a very good case to drop the second one too. And with the shots coming in, with the last few settled, and with Murky still getting topside, that keep is going to fall 100%. Mid keep is a goner. And at the bottom of the map, yeah, they're going to get some value there too. Damage output, by the way, when we're looking at it, 48,000 of Ophir. I mean, since nobody seems to move out of Ophir's ult the entire time, it's a little surprised that she's currently topping the damage. Everybody seems to be completely happy, mosh pit or no mosh pit, to stand in that ult 6 days to Sunday and just say, this is fine. This is not hurting at all. And Sylvanas has 40,000 damage on the other side, though. And Murky is sitting at 28,000 damage. So he's currently obviously trying to get a bit more there, too. I'm still a big fan of the big Tuna Kahuna On the other hand, when it comes to the 20 talent choice, we have the slime cooldown reduction in the first game when Murky was played. But I really think the way that they are playing this with the Abathur support, that would make him a real boy, a real hero. Talking about real heroes, a bit of a fight down here at the bottom as Murky is trying to go for the core solo. But we have already Variant down, and is that the mosh pit? It's the big mosh pit, and that's the entire kills. And in the meantime, Murky just killed Thrall solo and is going for the core. Murky's looking at the core and is like, and it's going straight for it. The Murky copy. The Murky copy is there too, and there's Murlocs everywhere. The core is falling. They're actually winning the Murky game. The Bacon Landlords with a 2-1 victory in the series. It is side the best of 3 in their favor, and that is game right there. GG and well played as Bacon Landlords win the Division 7 team at heroeslaunch.gg.